Hello there, back again. Joni Rotten here. We're continuing to follow the breadcrumbs left by our dear friend Charlie at Lookoutfa Charlie. Link is in the description to his channel. The LIDA cognitive architecture. This is another Wikipedia because they have it out there. They want us to know. So we're going to read this. I encourage you to continue this breadcrumb search. Share on your channels. Make sure you tag me in your shares as I want to learn as well. If you know information and want to share them, I will let you have the floor and you can come and we'll have a discussion, an interview, whatever you want to call it, and I'll let you share what you know about these. Anything that I bring on this channel, you're welcome to share your wealth of knowledge. So the Learning Intelligent Distribution Agent, or LIDA for short, cognitive architecture, is an integrated artificial cognitive system that attempts to model a broad spectrum of cognition in biological systems, from low-level perception, action, to high-level reasoning. Developed primarily by Stan Franklin and colleagues at the University of Memphis, the LIDA architecture is empirically grounded in cognitive science and cognitive neuroscience. In addition to providing hypotheses to guide further research, the architecture can support control structures for software agents and robots, providing plausible explanations for many cognitive processes. The LIDA conceptual model is also intended as a tool with which to think about how minds work. Two hypotheses underline the LIDA architecture as its corresponding conceptual model. One, much of human cognition functions by means of frequently iterated interactions called cognitive cycles around 10 hertz between conscious contents, the various memory systems and action selection. And number two, these cognitive cycles serve as the quote atoms of cognition of which higher level cognitive processes are composed. So the overview, though it is neither symbolic nor strictly connectionist, LIDA is a hybrid architecture in that it employs a variety of computational mechanisms chosen for their psychological plausibility. The LIDA cognitive cycle is composed of modules and processes employing these mechanisms. Computational mechanisms. The LIDA architecture employs several modules that are designed using computational mechanisms drawn from the new AI. These include variants of the copycat architecture, sparse distributed memory and scheme mechanism, the behavior net, and the subsumption architecture, psychological and neurobiological underpinnings. As a comprehensive conceptual and computational cognitive architecture of the LIDA architecture is intended to model a large portion of human cognition, comprising a broad array of cognitive modules and processes. The LIDA architecture attempts to implement and flesh out a number of psychological and neuropsychological theories, including global workspace theory, situated cognition, perceptual symbol systems, working memory, memory of affordances, long-term working memory, and the HCOG-AF architecture. LIDA's cognitive cycle. The LIDA cognitive cycle can be subdivided into three phases. There's the understanding phase, the attention or consciousness phase, and the action selection and learning phase. Beginning the understanding phase, incoming stimuli activate low-level feature detectors and sensory memory. The output engages perceptual associative memory, where higher level feature detectors feed into more abstract entities, such as objects, categories, actions, events, etc. The resulting perceptive moves to the workplace, where it cues both transient episodic memory and declarative memory, producing local associations. These local associations are combined with the percept to generate a current situational model, which is the agent's understanding of what is going on right now. The attention phase begins with the forming of collations of the most salient proportions of the current situational model, which then compete for attention. That is a place in the current conscious contents. These conscious contents are then broadcast globally, initiating the learning and action selection phase. New entities and associations and the reinforcement of old ones occur as the conscious broadcast reaches the various forms of memory, perceptual, episodic, and procedural. In parallel with all this learning and using the conscious contents, possible action schemes are instantiated from procedural memory and sent to action selection, where they compete to be the behavior selected for the cognitive cycle. The selected behavior triggers sensory motor memory to produce a suitable algorithm for its execution, which completes the cognitive cycle. So the history. Virtual Maddie, or vMaddie, is a software agent that gathers information from seminar organizers, composes announcements of next week's seminars, and mails them out each week to a list that keeps updating, all without the supervision of a human. vMaddie employed many of the computational mechanisms mentioned above. Barr's global workspace theory, GWT, inspired the transformation of vMaddie into Conscious Maddie, a software agent with the same domain and tasks whose architecture included a consciousness mechanism a la GWT. Conscious Maddie was the first functionally, though not phenomenally, conscious software agent. Conscious Maddie gave rise to IDA. IDA, or Intelligent Distribution Agent, was developed for the U.S. Navy, no surprise there, to fulfill tasks performed by human resource personnel called detailers. At the end of each sailor's tour of duty, he or she is assigned to a new billet. This assignment process is called distribution. The Navy employs almost 300 full-time detailers to effect these new assignments. IDA task is to facilitate this process by automating the role of detailer. IDA was tested by former detailers and accepted by the Navy. Various Navy agencies supported the IDA project to the tune of some 1,500,000,000. Is that correct? I've got to count my commas. Thousands, millions, billions. The LIDA, Learning IDA architecture, was originally spawned from IDA by the addition of several styles and modes of learning, but has since then grown to become a much larger and genetic software network. And we've got our footnotes there. And some external links, how the mind works. That was one to note. This was Stan. Here's little rat-faced Stan. He was an American scientist. He was the W. Harry Feinstein Interdisciplinary Research Professor at the University of Memphis in Tennessee. And he co-directed the Institute of Intelligent Systems, and he's the author of Artificial Minds and some other things. And so that concludes our basic Wikipedia breakdown of the cognitive architecture LIDA. And I'll be back with some other tabs of interest as I'm following Charlie's breadcrumbs. Thank you, Charlie, for getting your your information out there and letting some of us pick it apart and look into some of these things that you throw out. I'm sure people like that are very well, they understand these systems, and me, I do not yet. So I want to learn. So I appreciate that they're mentioned, and I have a chance to go and find them and share them with you guys. What are your thoughts? What do you think here? And what do you know?